Okay. That's good. I left a space for you. Yeah, it's okay. Special designer environment. Little amphitheater. The chorus will come on shortly. Yeah.
I got a pig in a hat for Cat. Her baby Maggie Moy, as we all saw. So we found a pig because it's Year of the Pig, and we had a little pig. But we thought, Beck and I thought that as a family present, we buy a couple of children's storybooks and give them as a family present. Maggie Moy the pig. Yes, we've got to. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
Oh, you've got a card? Yep. So anyway, if you, whatever contribution you feel like you can make, we will gladly take it. And Beck and I are going to go see if we can find a couple of books.
Nice. Is there a place to put donations? For those of us who like being anonymous?
She's much more reliable than I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. That's worth it. So, we're going to continue your play, your FI practice. Come and sit up here, Lisa. Jeez. Yeah, I know it's a bit like that, really, isn't it? At least I'm kind of friendly about it these days. Yeah, that's right. I got to thank Lisa for the cake. That was delicious, wasn't it? Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can make it every day, really. It's
When I have time.
First of all, I want to share how I want to share my perception about how wonderfully well you are engaging with the processes on offer. So it's great to see. It really is nice. I'm thinking, should I tell you a story or shouldn't I tell you a story? Do you want a story? No, that doesn't sound nice. So I've already told you that when I was injured as a dancer, it was in the second segment of my training, and I had that continuum going on in my mind, comparing myself to how I used to be and how I was. Well, by the end of the training, I actually got a lot better without surgery, without much therapeutic intervention, but with a lot of help from my friends. And that allowed me to start working again. But there was a difficulty, and the difficulty was every time I'd do dance or do a gig at night, I'd have to come home that night and do about an hour and a half, 2 hours of ATM. And there came a point that I had to make a call. Will I continue this way, which doesn't look like a good path, or will I finally decide to, okay, let's take off that coat, put it off to the side, and just leave that for the kitchen? Just dance in the kitchen. And that's what I decided. The Swan Song was a piece that a piece that I was involved in called All That Flows. I really like that title. It was about investigating masculine self-image. And it was choreographed by a lady called Julianne Long. And she choreographed specifically on me, which was a first forever. But even though everything was choreographed to me and what I could do, same scenario appeared. So here's this crafted environment, right? And I was hoping that you would occupy it in the way you did. And you did. Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So this story is about this last piece. All That Flows was a collaborative piece between Keith Kalash, Virginia Baxter, a muso, Julianne Long, and myself. And so you had these little places in the room that people would go listen to guys' stories about their lives, or go watch a little video, and over in this corner someone would be doing something. And then I'd be kind of like cruising around, and there's a moment that I would do by, dance across a diagonal space, which is kind of was represented my life journey. And in rehearsal, it worked fine. Even in the first night, it worked fine. Because on the first night, people come who know how to occupy space. Well, on the first real night, that path that I was supposed to travel through, everybody's sitting on the floor. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to travel through here. So it's like, here's this moment of the planned spatial path ain't happening. So I then have to, so it actually became far more intimate, because as I was, going, okay, well, I go next, I would occupy that time with a little bit with what Jenny was talking about, listening. So, I don't get up there and you kind of do a dip down the leg, and the person sitting there, and instead of going down my leg, I'd go around the person in that kind of non-masculine expected way. And they liked that. They said, can you do that every night? I said, do I have to? Can I just have my path? I just want to go down my path. I just want to do what... Because while it was nice at the time, it requires a lot of presence and a lot of mucking around and playing and guessing and worrying, okay, how are they going to be tonight? Where are they going to be? But that was preserved, and it was a really nice memory as a last sort of solo dance to go out with. And I was reflecting last night how that relates to RFI practice. And you can already sense the connections, right? I can have a plan in my head. I'm going to do, and then they show up. And your best laid plans are like, oh, I've got this choreography. Now, you either chuck out the choreography and choose something else, or you find yourself doing something that was unexpected in the moment, but still within the shape of the dance, of the choreographic piece. And when that happens, you will find that they're beautiful moments after the fact, because you're so busy in it. But sometimes when you have more cognitive space, you will find that it's beautiful moments while you're actually in it. And it'll be all over. I can guarantee you the things that you discover in those moments when the unexpected happens are the things that you will remember forever. And they will, I was using this metaphor up in Sydney called cargo pants. I hate cargo pants, by the way. Cargo pants, which are basically army pants where you put all the ammunition. Over time, you develop all these little kind of tricks and ideas and experiences, and you just shove them in all the cargo pants pockets, and you kind of walk around like that. But, you do. And that becomes part of your intuition that you can, bring forth out of yourself. And those will stay with you forever. So Lisa mentioned to me that she saw some of you doing some really neat stuff yesterday. And when she mentioned it to me, I thought, oh, that'd be nice to see. And Lisa thought it'd be nice to see. So can I hand over to you and you can, Herr Director. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, it was, you know, and we, I was thrown into that practice yesterday, like over lunch, someone goes, oh yeah, let's split into 2 groups and we'll do this and this. And I'm going, oh, okay, we can do that. And so my group probably had a little less direction than the other group, which allowed for, I don't know, I looked over there and it looked like there was some direction going on. But yeah, that's right. It's greener over there. So, but out of that came a lot of creativity that was just lovely to see. And I did look over there and there was a lot of creativity on your side as well. So there was, you know, we sort of give you this idea of getting somebody like this and putting your arms here and moving around, and then you go and work with your partners and there's a massive height difference, or there's a, you know, something else, or it doesn't feel easy to organise yourself, so you look for solutions. And yeah, there was a bit of a boob issue, which was related to the height difference. So I thought it would be really nice to see some of the solutions that people came up with. And because Kevin's just started, maybe... Do you want to show a couple of things? Oh, you don't have to... Only... You can choose which bits you would like to share. And most of it was not about, I mean, I just want to stress, most of it was about how to organise to get into a position where you could then move with the 2 of you together. So it's not, you know, you were all doing the task. You were taking this idea of this way of working together and then adapting it to the situation. So and you do not have to, Philip.
It was really interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so we need a... So maybe you were on a high... Yeah, so Gloria also came up with a height problem solution. A solution to a height problem. Oh, that is so true. Just a height difference thing. Problem to solve.
Challenge. Puzzle.
Interesting thing. It's just a height difference. That's all there is. Okay, and laughing's a really nice way to start. Let's just... Yeah, you need to come forward.
Can you just... The issue was a height issue and perhaps even a weight issue. So like a peanut like Gloria, and she's even, you know, shorter than I am, would be able to, I think, with Gloria's solution and mine, be able to move Kevin. Yeah.
So they did discuss. There was a bit of discussion.
Do you mind putting the weight on my chin so that I can...
All right, guys. Do you mind me putting it?
Oh, great. We can name all of these moves if you like. Nice, huh? Yeah. There's a lot more contact there, but it means that the weight can be spread. Yeah. Nice. Lovely. Beautiful. We'll do a little brief backpack, the talking backpack. So you have to choose your clients. When is this appropriate? Beautifully done. How clever, right? And it means if Philip is ever lucky enough to get somebody a similar height and size, it's going to be so easy. Yeah. This has turned into something I didn't think was going to. Okay.
I wasn't sure
Okay, beautiful. Okay. Next up for the next performance. That was beautiful. Okay, so maybe Lockie? Yeah. Lockie, this was another very rich collaboration of creativity. Just really born out of curiosity, I think, more than, yeah. Yeah. So you told him to cross his arms over. Yep. So can you see? So Lockie's arms are under and over. You might need to move around to see this one. So again, he's getting contact at a different place. He's getting into a little bit more proximally there. Yeah, but the weight is, that's it. Mm. 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 Okay. In a nice way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, you're resting on the roller. Yep. Mm. Mm. Yeah. So that's a more comfortable position for your shoulders than down lower. Because I think I did you also have it down on the floor and leaning on that way?
Between your legs at one point.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But that was a bit, so a little bit higher.
Yeah. When I was doing it up in Sydney, we had one of those gym balls and just sat it on something like that.
Yeah, nice.
And that could actually really roll all over the place.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And there was getting him
Oh, you
on
did on the side a bit too?
yeah, just on the edge of the table here. Yeah. And, and just stood so I could actually face it ahead and point back.
So this other hand can just be like, notice this, notice this, notice this. You could get a little more specific and bring a bit of movement into places, but yeah, you've got a lot of options for where else you can bring movement to. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, lovely. Gloria's solution we can probably talk about rather than do, because we don't want to lug a whole table over, but
I stood on a table that was folded up as I brought the floor up. Show us. Platform. That's the word.
There you go.
There.
They want to see.
Oh, set it up for myself. You didn't have to do that yesterday.
You had a porter.
I know, I had a
yesterday.
porter yesterday. We put it on the diamond so that Okay.
We haven't got
So
that
you
much
you
time.
can see the disparity changed instantly. And then the other thing that was initially on the floor. Hang on a minute, just so across the see how high our arms have to be. So then we experimented with where it might be easy. So see, now I can do it on the floor. Back over here. And so now you can get that. So where to start became a bit of an issue too. So if you start here and go up, then that's a lot harder than starting lower. Coming up. Yeah, big.
Now, who else did something different, new, interesting? Did you come up with a different solution or a different way of doing it? We don't have to do all, but they're the ones that I remember saying. Anyone want to add anything? No. So it's just, you know, the Zoran has kind of set the parameters. This is what, you know, you've felt the ATM. We've set up, this is how you're going to be positioned. And within that, there's so many options. Yeah. So, yeah, of course.
Angela, just to repeat for the group what you told me this morning about that pushing into the joint to sort of make it into it. Because I found that very helpful.
Good.
We worked together with Angela yesterday, and for me it was quite difficult to find the plane in order to move Angela's hands, right? And I always asked Angela to find her comfort zone, and I tried to find the positions where I wasn't so as talented as others, but I had more fixed ideas, unfortunately, but
that's fine.
right. And it was quite difficult, but we worked mostly on two positions from the, I gave the ground, and also I tried different positions of my legs. And in order to the plane up and down, we used mostly two positions. One, okay, again, I gave the ground. Now we can do it. Yesterday we couldn't do it just in this plane. We were able to cover more planes.
Yeah.
And then what we found for the, for the third composition, right? I give the ground, and also we established the connection. And the connection was from the elbows to the joints. And when both of us, we felt that connection, we were able really to work nicely with our intentions.
Nice. So that was a way of clarifying your intention and clarifying that kind of the structure of
the
this piece
exactly.
that can move the rest of it.
Yes,
So you've
and
got
then,
your levers organized.
yes, and then we
yeah.
And then we repeated all three compositions.
Lovely.
And it was quite easy.
Right. Okay. Lovely. Good. Do you want to add anything, Zoran, or we set? Yep.
So to remind you of the case study, not the specifics but this business of walking across ground, walking across terrain, terrain changes. For your walking not to be brittle, there's this area of yourself needs to be very, very available. I think over the years, the number of people that I've seen with knee problems very often comes back to not availability in the thorax. So if you just simply hold very lightly as your intention, how can they become more sapling-like in their trunk rather than more stick-like? As long as you're having that intention in mind, use whatever you've seen within that framework, yeah? Now you can play with all sorts of different frameworks, which is, with the extreme of which is this, yeah? But you see, then your ability to articulate yourself creates that, yeah? That suppleness. So your suppleness creates their suppleness. From the precision, from your precision, right? The perceptual precision about this, that shape, that shape, that shape. So that's a huge gamut to play with.
I just remembered something. Ralph Haddon did a little workshop on doing really short FIs, and he was talking about doing when the bushfires were on. I can't remember when this was, and he went down to volunteer to help the people who mostly the firefighters, who would then come off on a break and be really like, ugh, you know, how do I go back out there again? And this was one of the things he did with people, like 5 minutes of this, of just, you know, taking them and finding where can they go, where can they, and getting all of this movement back through the middle. I thought it was a beautiful, you know, like little piece to get the softness back in, get the ground back in, get, you know, a sense of support, all of that stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
So we do have expressions in our language that tell us about how we experience ourselves at moments that we really need to get things done, and they have the priority. We call it hunkering down. We hunker down, right? Then when that's over,
how do you unhunker?
Unhunk. Unhunk. So this is called the unhunking lesson. Or whatever you want to call it. So please go and play.